Hey guys, it's Mike here, and today I'm going to bring you a new series for the channel, which is going to be called Were They Helpful? And in this series, we're going to talk about specific characters and ask whether or not they were actually helpful in the story and plot of the series. And of course, we're going to start off this series by talking about one character who many fans over the years have tried to imply is not very helpful, and that is Krillin. And of course, before we get into that, I'm joined by a very special guest. And his name is...
Big D from Geekdom101, and I'm very happy to be here as a part of the first chapter in your new series. Very excited to talk about this.
Oh yeah, I mean, this is going to be really good, so people hold on to your hats if you have them, because we're right about to get into this. So basically, we just want to talk about, throughout the course, all the different sagas. Do we think Krillin was helpful? What points did it really show up that he might not have been as helpful as he could have been? And really, what really shows through and shines through that says that maybe he really is? And so I'm going to start with Big D. What do you think?
I think the funny thing about the character of Krillin, and there are cases where you can make an argument for either one as far as different times throughout the show. He is the main character, and the manga. He is a main character, so he's always been around since, the second story arc or, whatever. So he's had different moments where he's been able to shine and also moments where he's been able to kind of flub up. A lot of the fans I've talked to always bring up the fact that he had the remote control to kill 18 and he didn't do it. Mm-hmm. And him killing 18 with that remote control, I think would have been a huge change. That by itself would have been a whole different what if, because 18's dead. Without question, Vegeta and Trunks would have finished off Cell and probably finished off 16. And that's it, saga over. So yep, it's a big flub up. But then concordingly, what I think is funny about Krillin, and we know there's different points in the series we can talk about, but the one that also comes to mind as far as him being useful, even though it's not even him, he's a good, I don't know what the word is, catharsis for events happening. Of course, the most useful thing that he did, this sounds weird, but the most useful thing that he did was getting killed on Namek, because him getting himself blown up changed the entire tide of that fight. And it's one of those things where I hate to say it, but in that situation, he was useful because he died. So, that's my view. But there's other examples we can get into.
Oh, yeah. I mean, for my kind of part in this, I think that Krillin was immensely helpful early on in the series, especially like the Saiyan arc and, of course, during the Namekian arc, because... First off, or the Frieza arc. First off, when it comes to the Saiyan arc, I mean, if Krillin was not there, then it's likely Goku would have been killed. It's certain he would have been killed, because
that's right.
Krillin was able to help distract Vegeta after Goku was beaten by him. He was able to help Gohan fight him. Krillin was the one who harnessed the Spirit Bomb, which of course means Krillin is also pure of heart and was also capable of learning that technique. He was the one who threw it at Vegeta. He was the one who, in many cases, I mean, he could have killed Vegeta. He was the only one who could have killed him in the end.
Don't forget that he also killed 4 Cybermen, and that was very useful too.
And he could have killed Nappa, as we talk about in another video on Geekdom's channel, which you should check out in the description.
Right.
But, I mean, he was very helpful in that. And, of course, people don't remember this, Krillin is the reason why everyone was brought back and why they even had the Namekian Frieza saga, because Krillin was the one who overheard the Saiyans talk about Namek, and he's the one who said, let's go to see if they have other Dragon Balls on Namek. That's the reason why characters were brought back to life. And, of course, I mean... Krillin was immensely helpful during the fight with Frieza. I mean, you would agree, right?
Yeah, well, when they had their fight when he was in his second form, a lot of people have talked about the whole fight, and it's pretty much one of those things that it was, I hate to say it, but it's weird. It's a distraction almost kind of thing, where had the distraction during that time not happened, it wouldn't have given Piccolo enough time to fuse with Nail so that he could show up. So, yeah, he cut off Frieza's tail. I think, actually, if you want to go back a step further on Namek, when he saved Dende, if you think about it, right, and this goes back to the whole thing about causality and what-if scenarios in Dragon Ball, had Krillin and Gohan not saved Dende, and remember, Krillin did the Taiyo Ken, or as they call it in the dub, the Solar Flare, to blind...
Fist of the Sun.
Yeah, that's right. And so what happened was, if he had not done that and Dodoria would have gotten his hands on them, he probably would have killed them, or at least maybe killed the kid, Dende, and without Dende around and his ability to heal, it wouldn't have been enough they wouldn't have had enough ability to heal so that Vegeta could have fought Frieza until Goku was ready to come back. So again, it's when you're talking about this kind of stuff in Dragon Ball, it's all about causality and causation and cause and effect. So everything that he did pretty much did definitely without question help them. However, that being said, when you start moving further and further away from Dragon Ball, into the deeper parts of the series, in the Cell arc he did flub up, in the Buu arc he did pretty much nothing. Other than that, I mean, in the like you said, the Vegeta saga, Frieza saga, he was fine. Also, another thing I wanted to bring up too is he was also useful very early in Dragon Ball because he gave Goku a rival. He was Goku's first real martial arts rival, which to me set the tone for all the other rivals he would have later on, like Vegeta is now, pretty much, in the more modern Dragon Ball Super and things like that.
I mean, absolutely. And of course, expanding upon him saving Dende. If he didn't save Dende, Earth wouldn't have a Guardian after Kami fused with Piccolo. I mean, all the other Namekians didn't even want to go to Earth to help them out, but Dende was willing to because Dende had actually helped, them in the past. So, I mean, that leads to them having Dragon Balls again. That allows them to wish back the Earth and, or at least, have the Dragon Balls at their disposal to really help them during the later arcs. So, I mean, Krillin, I feel... Overall, I would definitely have to say that while many people might think that Krillin is useless, and of course, again, the 18 situation, Krillin, he got hard, so he didn't want to freaking kill, the only chick who ever made any advancement towards him ever, I guess. The power of boners was very strong in that case.
Oh my.
But I guess, I mean, I definitely think Krillin was incredibly useful overall in the series, and I think that he definitely makes up for any kind of uselessness that he might have experienced throughout the course of it.
Definitely, and I think that he, like you said, he's had a few moments of uselessness, but definitely in the first two arcs that go. Because one thing that's cool about the early Dragon Ball Z stuff, like the Vegeta and Frieza arc, is that both Krillin and Gohan are like this awesome little team. Like they're like it's Krillin and Gohan, and in Dragon Ball for a little while it was Goku and Krillin, but now it's Krillin and Gohan while Goku's on either recuperating or on his way to Earth or whatever. I like that team a lot. So really, the story kind of does shift to it being the Krillin and Gohan show for many, many episodes, and he becomes a de facto main character, or a de facto main character. So I don't think he's useless at all. He's been very useful.
Oh yeah, I mean, so... this video might really help to dispel the kind of idea that many people did feel that Krillin was useless, because there's so many examples throughout the series that say, no, he actually was very useful, and without Krillin, everyone would kind of be screwed in the end.
In many ways, I agree with you, without question. I mean, hell, the biggest one, like I said, is Frieza. When he blew up, if that didn't happen, he had to die in order for those events to have occurred the way they did.
He had to die twice because, if he hadn't died the previous time, I think that Goku wouldn't have been as hurt by the situation because, again, if Krillin had not died during Dragon Ball when he was killed by Tambourine, he would have been able to be wished back with the Earth Dragon Balls, and of course Guru was dead at the time, so Goku had no idea that, anyone could ever bring him back to life. So, I mean, even when Krillin dies, he's incredibly helpful to the series.
He might be more helpful dead. That's a sad thing.
Yeah, absolutely. But this has been an episode of Dragon Ball. Were they helpful? Tell us your own thoughts in the comments section, what you thought of this video, and what you think about the topic therein. And of course, who you'd like us to talk about in the future. And of course, don't forget to check out Big D's channel at Geekdom101, which will be in the description. And of course, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. And as I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future. And you want to say your little sign off there?
Catch you down the road. Come on, do it!
Yeah, do it now. Come on, what are you waiting for? And you better subscribe!